Hi, today's video is all about a vintage lens from the 80s, the Miranda 35 to 70 f3.5 to 4.5, and don't put it off just because it's got a higher f-stop. This can make some really lovely images, and it's a macro lens which is really handy for close-up work. So this is a Miranda lens. It's made in Japan. It's also probably called a Casimir, something like that. You can also see them at. I'm pretty sure they're the same lens. They look exactly the same, and often at the time a lot of companies did rebrand their lenses. It's probably over 40 years old now. It's definitely from the 80s. It looks like it's from the 80s as well. They're very cheap. I was lucky I got this for free. It's my dad's old lens. This version is an Olympus OM mount, but I'm using it on a Sony a7 IV. I've adapted it just with a little adapter at the bottom. You can see there, this little bit here. That's all you need to do. But the main reason I'm making this video is because I'm really impressed with the images, especially for close-up work. I think it's absolutely brilliant for that. It's a manual lens, it's not an auto lens, but from the 80s would you expect it to be, and especially for that price. It's a macro lens, as I said, but it's not like super hyper close. You can't really get an image of a gnat's knee or anything like that. If I compare it to my Sigma 28-70 and then this 35 to 70 and show you the close-up work, you can see how much closer it gets. It's got 6 aperture blades, if that means anything to anyone, which is handy for when you stop it down for the bokeh and so on. Not too bad, it's pretty average really. And it's got a nice feeling focus. This here, it's nice and smooth focus. I really enjoy using it for that. The f-stops are clicky, which isn't so good for video, but I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. So even though this is a lovely looking lens and it's great for video, it does have a few negative points. So I'll go through a couple of them now. When you do focus it and move it up and move it, it goes up and down. And the problem with it going up and down is if you're using a follow focus, it might slide off the end of it, because you'll only have a limited amount of space to put the little spiky bits. It is a variable aperture at 3.5 to 4.5. This means when you zoom in and out, like you would here, which also moves up and down, note that it will change the amount of light that comes in by a stop. The aperture ring, as I said, has hard stops, and the hard stops go from 3.5 to 5.6 to 8, 11, 16 and 22, which basically means you're not going to get the half stops like you will have with a lot of more modern lenses. But hey, this was made for photos and it was made in the 80s, so I'm not expecting too much. And the price you get these at now, it's not worth worrying about really. And I think you can kind of put it in the middle of bits, but they are clicky stops. But overall, I enjoy the images from this, and that's why I made this video. It's a fun little lens, it's cheap, and it's a nice little thing if you want to do close-ups. I do believe that's probably its big selling point, is when you want to do a close-up on something, this is a cool lens to use. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. And if you like the video, like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff if you feel like it. And I hope to see you again in my next one. We've got a few interesting things coming up soon. Thank you. Bye bye.